Greetings, everyone. 2K Sports brings you the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan. I'm joined by Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr as we get set to bring you all the action. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First, for the Rockets, manning the backcourt, Jeremy Lin along with James Harden. And at center, the most dominant physical presence in the NBA, the elite defensive big man, Dwight Howard. Then there's Chandler Parsons, and it's Ashik in at the four. And for Golden State, Curry and Thompson, the Splash Brothers in the backcourt. And at the pivot, a terrific defender and all-around player, the Australian sensation, 7-footer Andrew Bogut. Then there's Iguodala, and it's Lee in at the four.
And for Dwight Howard last season, no doubt injuries held him back. But I've got to give him credit. I mean, he still led the league in rebounding with over 12 a game. Remarkable.
Curry, guarded by Harden. Curry dishes to Thompson. Clock at 6. Lee kicks to Iguodala. Sinks the triple. Iguodala's got the first bucket of the night, a three-pointer for the Warriors. On defense, Golden State. It's a three-point game. And for Howard, averages of 17 and 12. Not bad at the center position.
Yeah, but we're used to seeing him get kind of, 23 and 14. So, Dwight has worked hard to try to get back to 100%. When he's right, he is the best center in the NBA, but when he's right is the key phrase there.
Curry outside, and the rebound goes to the Rockets. And now, just over a minute played here in the first. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
Harden kicks to Lin. Back to Harden. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
Well, the Warriors going to the playoffs last season for just the second time in 19 seasons, guys. Pretty incredible and remarkable, too. But it seems, as Mark Jackson said, that things be a-changing in the Bay Area, and for the better.
Now, here's Curry. Iguodala outside. Good, and Curry gets the assist. And that's now 6 points for Andre Iguodala.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
And the pass to Lin. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And the crowd immediately letting the officials have it after that whistle.
A very unpopular call there.
Here's Curry with the three, and another three for Golden State. And for the Warriors, a scrappy, hard-fought win over the Denver Nuggets in 6 games. They also, Steve, gave the Spurs a lot of trouble in the second round.
They sure did. That series might have turned out a lot different if they hadn't collapsed in Game 1. But the Warriors showed tremendous resilience in bouncing back and really making that series so competitive.
Here's Curry. Dishes it to Thompson. Iguodala, the pass to Thompson. Lin against Curry. Curry gets the screen from Bogut. Shot off the screen. And he overshot that one, missing.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there.
A sheet. It's hauled in by Andre Iguodala. Warriors leading by 5. Bogut dishes to Curry. Thompson shoots it. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Howard's got 3 rebounds now in this one. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Mark Jackson gave me a couple of moments. He said he certainly followed the rise of Jeremy Lin into a prime-time point guard in this league. And he told me we need to try to limit his penetration. That's where he's most effective, slashing and with the drive and kick. Guys, Lin has certainly been working to improve his outside shot. But sometimes you have to pick your poison, and they'll live with him shooting from outside. Back to you.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Here's Lin. After the made shot from Parsons, out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
Boy, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
The Rockets making a switch here. The Warriors leading. Curry with it. Curry gets the screen from Azila. Lets it go from deep. It's rebounded by Parsons.
Well, Steph and Curry, really the engine that drives the Warriors offensively, and I don't know if there's a more entertaining player in the whole league than Steph Curry. I mean, he's one of the elite shooters already early in his career in league history. And he's a leader for this team off and on the court. Just very, very impressive. He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
Boy, the drive to the bucket was nice, but how about the finger roll finish? Beautiful.
He feeds it to Iguodala. Misses, and the dry spell continues. And Curry last season logging heavy minutes, a good sign that he was able to hold up physically.
Yeah, and despite those concerns over that right ankle, he really had a tremendous season. I thought competed better defensively. Not the most athletic guy, but possibly the most skilled player in the league when you look at his ability to handle the ball, shoot with range, and pass.
It was great to see him get on a big playoff stage and show the rest of the country just what they've got to look forward to. And here's Barnes for three. Good!
You know, the defense didn't exactly try to fight around that screen, and that's why it turned into the easy basket.
Harden against Iguodala. Harden outside. Parsons. Lynn kicks to Smith. Kicks it out to Garcia. Hits the front of the rim and out.
We got a narrow edge here in rebounding early on. You wonder how much that'll play going forward.
Well, I like the way they've set the tone. You know, they're going to have to continue to work at it, but rebounds will be key in this game, no question about it. I don't know if it's just me, but he's looked a step slow since the start of the quarter. His shooting has really suffered.
And now Iguodala around the floor all by himself.
Did a great job of attacking on the break.
Yeah, sure was. He made a beeline for the bucket as soon as they got the ball. Right away, straight to the rim.
We've got 13 seconds left to play in the first quarter. It's Harden with the drive. And the rebound goes to the Warriors.
That's kind of a shocker. The defense was there, but it wasn't right in his face. Kind of out of character for him to miss those.
And that does it for the first quarter. The Warriors lead by 4. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Warriors.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Azili kicks to Barnes. There's the feed to Thompson. From outside, off the mark.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, they were very lucky defensively because there was some miscommunication there. They left him wide open.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. And the Rockets making a change here. Warriors leading by 4.
Well, it certainly had the makings of a great story. Harden versus his old team, the Rockets coming back with a big Game 5 win. If they could get Game 6, they'd be able to force that final 7th game and maybe pull off the upset, but it wasn't meant to be.
Nobody near him. He'll normally make that one.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Here's Eunice. Lee gets the rebound. Well, going back to the Rockets in the postseason, a lot of people had them picked to get steamrolled. Steve, they put up a solid fight and really turned some heads with how they played.
Well, the easy answer was because of the Westbrook injury. That's how Houston was able to really take Oklahoma City deep into that series. But I think there's more to it than that. The Rockets have tremendous offensive firepower. I think they're gaining momentum as a franchise. And heading into this year, I think they're one of the scariest teams in the conference.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Gentlemen, Steph Curry set the record for most three-pointers in the season last year. Many of them coming in spectacular fashion. Step backs, one-legged pull-ups, you name it. Coach Mark Jackson said, I don't know who second place is for the best shooter in the world, but he has first place tied up. And guys, before it's all said and done, we could be talking about Curry as the greatest shooter of all time.
That's right, Doris. Thanks.
Boy, it was an impressive turnaround for Mark Jackson and the Warriors last season. I mean, his promise of making the playoffs didn't come together in his first season as the Controls, but in year 2, they got it done. And I tell you what, most thought Mark would be a really outstanding coach, and he's well on his way to making that a reality.
Douglas, the pass to Lee. Defended by Monty Eunice. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way. And for Mark Jackson, there have been some questions. He had never spent time as a coach, even as an assistant. I guess the question was, Steve, would he be able to take over the reins as a head coach?
Well, the biggest thing you want to do as an NBA coach is have your players buy into what you're selling, and Mark Jackson's been able to do that. His players believe in him. He motivates them. They like playing for him, and that's most of the battle right there. Well, this Warriors ownership group has really energized the franchise. They've been very proactive. They purchased the D-League team from Dakota. With plans to move them to Santa Cruz, about an hour south of Oakland. And in order to accommodate the team's home games, they built a new 3,000-seat arena in a matter of months.
And the Warriors decide to take their first time out here. And the Santa Cruz Warriors, as they've been renamed, have been a hit. Clark leading the D-League in revenue, making the D-League finals last season.
And with all of the D-League games now broadcast on YouTube, the exposure for players in the D-League is better than ever. And for the Warriors to have their D-League affiliate so close by gives them a much better opportunity to develop their young talent.
Steph Curry's checked in for Golden State. Thompson dishes to Barnes. 5 to shoot. Beyond the arc. Rebound by Garcia. The Rockets trail. It's Harden with the drive. Kicks it out to Garcia. That doesn't go on the chance to tie.
Well, Andrew Bogut essentially missed the first half of last season as he continued rehab from his ankle injury from early 2012. The team did a pretty good job of holding down the fort in his absence. Got off to a hot start, but no question about it. He gives this team a whole different dimension inside when he's healthy.
Outside Curry. One deep. The long distance three is good. Curry's got 6.
How about the response? Retaliation. Impressive, huh, guys?
I'll say exactly that as well. Nice job to recover those 3 points right away.
Houston's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Going back to Bogut, the Warriors took a little heat early on with that trade. They sent their high-scoring guard, Monte Ellis, for Bogut to Milwaukee, and they had to wait a long while for the big man because he came injured to Golden State.
Well, that was the main reason people were upset. They traded their leading scorer for a guy who couldn't even play because he was on the sidelines. But once he was healthy, the trade made perfect sense. Golden State had plenty of firepower in the backcourt. They needed the size and defense that Bogut brought them.
Houston found their way back into the playoffs last season, but really it wasn't because they were a tough team on the road. They only had 16 wins away from Houston last season.
And Clark, as you were talking about, the Rockets weren't nearly as troublesome to teams last year when they found themselves in the away locker room. Mostly, Steve, it came down to their offense not having quite as much punch.
Well, most teams don't score as much on the road as they do at home, but for the Rockets, 5 points differential between home and away, it's pretty dramatic. And I think that was one of the reasons why we saw them struggle when they left Houston and tried to get a win. Nobody responds to end-of-game pressure like this guy. That's what comes to mind immediately for me. He's hit some monumental shots in his career, and some guys just embrace the moment at the end of the game. That's him.
And Steve, near the bucket, he's one of the best finishers around. I mean, he does a great job of using his strong body to fight through contact and get to the rack. It's very rare that you're going to be able to make the playoffs in the West without coming out with a winning record against the rest of the conference. And the Warriors knew that would be important in their quest for the playoffs, and they handled business against the West.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Yes, gentlemen, last season the Golden State Warriors, vastly exceeding expectations, and they did it all while playing their rookies extensively. The young guns showed a great maturity and work ethic from the start, leading the Summer League team to an undefeated record. With Festus Ezeli and Draymond Green, both four-year seniors, Harrison Barnes said that as the youngest of the pack, being around those two helps me mature more quickly. And guys, they delivered quickly, helping the Warriors reach the second round of the playoffs.
Thanks, Doris. And this team poised not just to win, but to win big for years to come. Howard, covered by Bogut, back to Harden. The dish to Asher. It's rebounded by Golden State. Lee's got his third rebound tonight. Well, and for the Warriors who fought so hard to get back into the playoffs, last year their 28-24 record against the rest of the West really helped their cause, Steve.
Well, the toughest part of the Warriors' last campaign was a rough stretch of games in February where they dropped off a bit in the race. And, a lot of those games were against Western teams. And if you kind of remove that month, their in-conference record is even more impressive.
Now, here is Harden. 9 points in the game so far. Here's Beverly. Here's Howard. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Carving out some space and eating a little glass at the offensive end while he's doing it.
You got it with a ferocious follow.
Yeah, but just another day at the office for him. That's what he does.
Close game as we wrap up the second quarter. Houston on top, leading by just 2. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Oracle Arena in Oakland, California.
Now, presented by Sprint.
It's Wednesday night. We're almost over the hump. This is the 2K Sports Halftime. The Houston Rockets in front against Golden State. They're really going hard at it on the boards, offensively chasing down every miss they can. James Harden has the game high. He's up to 9 points, and he's made some key plays in the assist department, too. On the other hand, Golden State also been giving it their best. A superb effort on defense. They're contesting every shot and sending quite a few back as well. Andre Iguodala has the team high in scoring. He has 8 points and has also grabbed a couple rebounds. Time now to get you back to the game in Oakland. Second half from Oracle Arena coming right up.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we return, a lovely view of downtown San Francisco, panning over the Embarcadero and the Bay Bridge.
We watched a great quarter by Harden. He has 9 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
Well, that's obviously not a big number, but he's been doing some valuable defensive work for them.
The Warriors trailing.
Well, guys, the Houston fans could be forgiven for not having heard of Umir Ashik when the Rockets signed him as their starting center a season ago. He was a second-round pick out of Turkey in 08, a backup in Chicago, but he's quickly shown himself to be a key piece for this promising young core.
Gets it to go. Lynn's got his team on the board first here in the second half for Houston.
Room service delivery right there, fellas. Wonderful entry feed.
And Thompson kicks to Bogut, working on Howard. Kicks it out to Iguodala. It's a neck-and-neck game in Golden State. And you have to give the Rockets credit for going after Ashik, a player who never averaged more than 15 minutes a game with Chicago, a restricted free agent with the Bulls, and became a very important part for the Rockets.
So they clearly saw something special with Ashik. He's a great rebounder and defender, uses his body, understands angles, and plays that verticality really well as a defensive center.
Bogut sets a screen for Curry. Back to Bogut. And it's good. Walk through contact, hits the shot, he'll go to the free throw line.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done. Tell you what, it had to be one of the best shooting performances of last season and perhaps even the last 10 years or so when Steph Curry dropped 54 on the Knicks and made 11 threes on that night and everything was dropped.
And Clark mentioned the 54-point game for Curry. Sometimes performances like that can elevate a player's confidence to a new level. Steve, wouldn't you say that? I mean, it had to be incredibly empowering.
Especially when you do it in that building,
yes.
The mecca of basketball. And I think we saw what it did for Curry's confidence down the stretch and into the playoffs, where he really elevated his game to another level.
Well, it's been a common practice in defending Dwight Howard to employ the hack of the white strategy, and for a long time people have been getting on Howard to improve his free throws, but the league is considering whether or not to eliminate that strategy from the game.
Azili's checked in for Andrew Bogut. He hits one and misses one, each at the line. Clark, you mentioned the league thinking about changing the rules around intentional fouls to prevent forcing poor shooters to the line. The hack-a-shack and the hack-a-dwight, all these different terms were used. Steve, what do you think of that?
I'm not a big fan of the intentional foul. We've made so many rule changes in the NBA over the last decade to improve the quality of play. I don't think fans want to sit there and watch a guy shoot free throws 10, 12 straight times down the floor. So it's a rule I would like to see changed.
When you get an influx of talent through the draft like the Rockets did prior to last season, the initial reaction is excitement, but then you think about, man, how are we going to get these guys ready to play NBA basketball? And the Rockets did a nice job by taking it easy and bringing them along slowly.
And for the Rockets, you look at how that strategy worked out for them, and it was exactly what they needed. Got off to a quick start last year, and Steve, toward the end, their rookies were fresh and able to contribute when it mattered most.
Kevin, it's hard for fans to see a player get drafted and not immediately see the floor, but a lot of times that's the best route. You give a player time to adjust, you make him earn it, and by the end of the season, he can be a very effective player. I think plenty of the Rockets players proved that last season. But Curry is a constant threat offensively, Kevin. As soon as he crosses half court, you have to pick him up. He's got unlimited range, but also the shiftiness on the dribble, the ability to create space, get into the paint, and either hit a little floater or find a teammate for a jump shot.
Well, one of the best shooters in the game, Steve, no question about that. The passing ability is there too, but it's his honey sweet stroke that really is his best quality.
The Rockets making a switch here. Smith has checked in. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. It's Harden with the drive, and that comes off the assist by Dwight Howard. And it's 13 points for James Harden.
Boy, it's been a poor defensive effort. When that ball has gone inside, into the post, they've been in trouble.
Yep, points in the paint clearly going against them now.
No good from Azili.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is up tight on him like that time.
Harden the pass to Lynn. There's the lob to the hoop, and it's Howard finishing it off.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
Well, what a beautiful connection on that play.
Monte is checked in for the Rockets. 3 minutes gone now in the third quarter. Curry against Land. And Curry, here we go. In the posts, Curry. Left side Curry from downtown. Shot is off.
Oh, boy, he is just cold as ice. I don't think he's going to be the one to help them cut into the lead.
Harden dishes to Lynn. Monte he with the block. Lynn against Curry. Kicks to lead. On the wing, Iguodala. Curry. Goes up on the high post. Second shot opportunity. And Iguodala with the layup. Iguodala's got 10 points.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
No question. Pound it into the painted area and continue to put pressure on that defense.
A nice shot by Lynn. And the Rockets lead by 6.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim. With all the hype that Linsanity got during Jeremy Lin's breakout season, it didn't really do him any favors on the court, guys. In fact, I think you could easily argue that he's been playing with a target on his back for opposing guards who would like to have a big game against a star like Lin.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Smith. And it's Ashik in for Monte.
Boy, that's embarrassing, guys. He's going to have a hard time living that one down later when they watch it on tape.
Here's Curry. 11 points in the game. And getting back to Jeremy Lin, I think with the attention he got in his breakout season, it also brings players wanting to measure themselves against you, saying, let's see how good this guy really is.
Yeah, that's part of it. But I think if you ask Jeremy, he'd rather be playing and having that challenge than, have it the way it was before when nobody knew who he was or really respected his game.
Spates checked in for the Warriors. Douglas comes in for Klay Thompson. .121 left to play in the third.
They ran that inbound play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Rockets.
And they continue to run and gun throughout the game, guys.
They've worked hard tonight at crashing the boards as well. They've had a bunch of second chance points. And for the Warriors, unusual for a playoff team to be giving minutes to 3 or even 4 rookies, but that was the case last season. Barnes, Azili, Green, they brought in a rookie group with maturity that had done a good job of preparing themselves at the collegiate level, and all of them produced.
Tough call there and a tough break for the defense.
But I think you could still see him kind of sliding in there. I don't have a problem with the call.
And the Warriors making a change here. Thompson's checked in. Harden, he's covered by Thompson. Here's Hushit. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
And the defense looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Yeah, I like that. A foul to save the layup. Make him earn it at the line.
He misses the free throw. And for the Warriors rookies last season, Steve, they got an early start. They were in the team gym from the earliest days after the draft.
Well, this is a club that has great chemistry. Some of that has to do with Mark Jackson. A lot of it has to do with just the quality of people that they've put on that roster. But it's an exciting young team with a good coach and a great crowd. I think the Warriors have a very bright future.
Tries in the post. Here's Spates. Gets it to go. Spates has got his first 2 points.
That's the way to work the ball in close to the hoop, guys.
Lin against Douglas. Now here's Lin. Not a lot of room. Parsons on the wing. 6 to shoot. A finger roll finish at the bucket. Parsons got his second basket of the night. Warriors trail by 4. And here's Douglas. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. And Thompson kicks to Iguodala. Thompson. From deep three-point range. Oh, he knocks it in. A beautiful buzzer beater.
Just in time.
Oh, a miracle heave to finish off the quarter. How did he get that to go down?
A nice release and some good concentration as well, but the biggest thing about that, a whole lot of luck.
It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. And for Houston, they're shooting 49% on the game. They'll take that. Here's Lin, and he banks in the layup. Lin's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Rockets.
A very good half for them from the field. They've got their shooting percentage up over 50%.
Now, they got a great chance to go ahead and close this game out because their offense is really clicking right now.
But he stays with it. Iguodala, the pass to Lee. Back to Iguodala. He kicks to Thompson. Back to Iguodala. Goes back up. Yep, right through the net. Here's Lin. Garcia sets the screen for Lin. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. And the Rockets lead by 3.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint. I guess the good news is they've taken away the outside shot.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good their perimeter defense is if they're going to allow inside looks as easy as that.
Barnes. And the rejection by Smith.
Boy, you wonder what the score of this game would be if they weren't pulling down all these rebounds.
Love what I'm seeing from them in the paint.
And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. They get Steph and Curry. And the first one at the line is good.
You know, the Rockets did a lot to make over their backcourt last season as they brought in two big names in Jeremy Lin and James Harden. And that's not always an easy adjustment. Took a little time for both of those guys to figure out how to coexist in the pick-and-roll offense.
Omer Ashe, he's checked in for the Rockets. And Clark, as you said, it took some time for this Houston backcourt to learn how to play with each other, but that is the case for any duo. Eventually, Steve, they found a happier medium, and that initiated some great offense between them.
Well, they were much more effective down the stretch last season, Kevin, and I thought it really showed in the way Lin and Harden kind of played off of each other. So, you know, a lot of teams, they seem to want to have that second option for bringing the ball up or for attacking, and it is very effective to have a couple of guys who can each attack and create.
Curry kicks to Thompson. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. Curry's got 5 assists tonight. Rockets leading by 4. Here's Beverly. Makes it off the glass. Beverly's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, I tell you what, I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders. They're not getting the job done.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 12 points they've allowed on good looks right at the rim.
Barnes dishes to Iguodala. Here's Ezeli, covered by Smith, and the rejection by Smith. The Rockets have gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the fourth quarter so far. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, you could, in some ways, call Chandler Parsons' first season a mild surprise, but he really accelerated things in his second season. He improved in all parts of the game and really showed he could be a top option for a team offensively. He's got such versatility, and his shooting range is unlimited.
Well, for Chandler Parsons last season, Steve, top 20 in minutes played, and he was more effective in his minutes. You really utilized every one of them well.
Yeah, he improved his shooting in every dimension, Kevin, from the field, from the outside, and especially from the foul line. Upped his scoring rate dramatically. Really has made strides across the board.
Both free throws good from Parsons.
Well, you watch the way Parsons moves, and you see how quickly he's able to shift and change directions. And you forget that Chandler Parsons is 6'10", because he moves like a much smaller guy. He's a terrific all-around player.
And back to Parsons, Clark, you talked about his mobility, a good defender too, and for a young player that's rare. So you look at his size, ability to move his feet, and the upside certainly is there. Then you put him with a guy like Kevin McHale as his coach and a nice array of talent. He's got a good situation there.
He does. Got a bright future, and I'm most impressed with his defense. You talked about a lot of his skills, but you know, Houston will frequently put him on the opponent's best wing offensive player.
And both free throws good for Curry.
That's a familiar sight. He hardly ever wastes his chances at the line. Cashes in regularly.
Beverly, the pass to Harden. Trains the three-pointer.
This guy will really make you pay if you leave him enough room outside.
Warriors trail by 9. Curry kicks to Iguodala. Thompson, guarded by Harden. But they recover it. It's Curry outside. And the Warriors get it back. Pass to Thompson. He dishes it to Curry. From outside the arc. Another miss by Curry.
Tell you what, the defense has nothing to worry about out there with him shooting. I mean, he can't dial it in from deep this half at all.
Here's Beverly, guarded by Curry. And Beverly kicks to Howard. Parsons outside, just 5 on the clock. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. The Warriors have gone just 2 of 8 in this fourth quarter. The final quarter not treating them well so far. Here's Harden, back to Parsons. It's going to be out of bounds. The Rockets will retain possession. And the Rockets making a change here. Lynn's checked in. Here is Harden. 6 on the shot clock. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Harden's got 9 points here in the second half.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Now, you got to make a defensive adjustment here, Clark. Time to collapse inside, force the ball back out in the perimeter, make them beat you from long range.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Over that last break, Kevin, I got it. Chance to hear what Mark Jackson said to his club. He said, listen, fellas, I know you're tired, but we can't coast. We've got to go harder. The win's in sight. We've got to power through it and go get it. Guys, pretty inspirational stuff.
Thank you, Doris. And as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball here.
Yeah, so close to picking that pass off, guys.
At least he got a hand on it. He did what he needed to do to make sure it didn't hit the target.
Parsons, the open look.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Well, I guess they can get them when they need them. That's a good job of getting to the miss.
Now you can see why the defense is willing to let him take that shot. That's really not his range.
It's Harden with the drive. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. And the Rockets lead by 10.
You know, it seems like when they've gone to him, he's really come through. And that's not something they should get away from.
Curry against Land. For the three. Curry can't get it to go. Houston's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Howard with a screen on Lee. Harden gets a screen from Howard. It's Harden with the drive. Stolen by Thompson.
And this game is finally getting away from them.
Yep, it has gotten away. There's not really anything they can do now.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Iguodala shoots the three. And yes, sir, that one drops.
And another three-pointer to their second half total.
Yeah, they caught that long-range bug at halftime, and it's been bombs away ever since.
Thompson against Harden. And there's the call on Klay Thompson. That's foul number 2 for him. And stolen by Barnes. No good. So we see the Rockets get the win here. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
Well, that'll do it. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time. And as we leave, we give you our Jordan Player of the Game, James Harden.
Everybody get up.